Hi everybody, welcome back to the Scapegoat Club. I'm Jess, and today I wanted to talk about something that's been tripping me up a little bit in trying to make sense and move on from my narcissistic relationship. And that is the concept of justice and karma and fairness. So my situation is that I have two narcissistic parents and a narcissistic sister, and my sister is the favorite and I am the black sheep, the undesirable, the scapegoat. I've always been blamed for things and being told off when I disagree with things, and why am I always such trouble, and you know, the usual. And I lived with it for 40 or so years, and then I found out that my sister had broken the law, and she had actually dragged me into a situation with her. And I finally had this point of being able to say to my parents, look, I'm not the bad one here. I haven't done anything wrong. She is. Can you see it? Can you finally recognize me as, I'm not perfect, but I'm a human being, and this thing that my sister has done is actually really nasty, and it's not right, and it's morally really, really sketchy, but it hasn't happened. They believe her, they don't believe me. I've gone through that process of trying to justify myself, trying to explain to them, maybe this time they'll get it, this time they have to. I have a letter from a solicitor saying, you know, this is wrong, and you know, this is what the law says, and this is what happened, and this is what your sister did, and yet they're blind to it. They don't want to see it. It's just not a reality to them. And I really struggled with this, and so I've just been kind of thinking about it, and what I thought was, in my head there's justice and then there's karma, and this is just my thoughts and my opinions. It's not any scientific base or anything like that. But I think what happens with narcissists and narcissist victims, and particularly with the legal system and the court system. I should say that my legal situation, I'm sorting it out, but it's going to be basically swept under the rug because I don't have the time, the resources, the money to really, and I also to take it to court and really see my sister strung up for what she's done. And I also don't think that would help anybody. It wouldn't help me. It would be a long saga, and I'm sure I would win in the end, but the stress and the drama and the money and also the pain that her family would have to go through. She had children and a husband who I don't think have any idea what's going on, and I don't want to do that. So in terms of justice, I don't think there's going to be justice. She's not going to be found out for what she's done, and she's not going to be held accountable. And I think that for a lot of people who are in this similar situation, it's kind of like I would imagine, like divorcing a narcissist, then the legal system just isn't set up in a way that narcissists are held accountable. They can play the system so well. Even now, after a year, my solicitors and my lawyers are like, well, you know, isn't it weird? And why would she say that? Because she's crazy. Anyway, so I don't think there's this thing as justice in a narcissistic relationship, but I really think there is such a thing as karma. And in my head, in my definition of karma, it's a kind of you reap what you sow. And okay, my sister may never have to pay all the money back. She may end up with, you know, all the inheritance from the family because I get disinherited. And you could say that's not good karma, that's not very fair. But I know how desperately unhappy she is, how nasty she is, how really nobody close to her really likes her. Same with my parents and my family. A lot of my family, it's a common thing through my family. We have such a superficial relationship. There's always petty arguments and bitching and sniping at each other, and there's no genuine love, there's no genuine affection, there's no joy, there's no happiness, there aren't those little nuggets of pure gold that you get in your life when you really just connect with someone in a really positive way. They can't do that. And for me, that is karma. And I don't mean it in a, I'm really glad they're going to be miserable and awful and have awful lives, and they have what they have. But I think for me, it's the universe saying, you know, if you go around and you treat people like that, like in a bad way, if you treat people like they don't count, if you don't respect them, if you don't respect their needs and their wants, and if you go around and really abuse their trust, then they'll turn their back on you, and you'll end up with, again, these superficial relationships, or relationships where you're using somebody to get something you need, and eventually they figure it out and they walk away, and you're left on your own, and it's really sad. It's really sad. I'm struggling to kind of think of how I want to wind it up, but I think if they also have a choice how they behave and how they act, and my family know exactly how they've hurt me and what I need to have a positive relationship with them. It's not like they don't know that. And they've chosen to say no, they're not going to do that, and they're going to continue to act in a way that is disrespectful and harmful to me. So that means that we aren't able to have any kind of relationship, really. So I think there is karma, and I think if you're in a situation where you're struggling to make sense of a narcissistic relationship and wanting that something to happen, where wanting that justice is saying, this isn't right, this is what you've done, you've lied to me, you've cheated me, you're telling people things that aren't true about me, all of those things, I totally get it, and it is maddening and it is frustrating. But at some point, to be able to move on, I think for me, this is something that I have to come to terms with, that I'm not going to get the justice, but there is karma. And the other flip side of karma is that I've come through it, and I realized just the joy and the value in being, as best I can, a decent human being, and getting, you know, even just a genuine smile and a genuine conversation, or just helping someone out, or just hanging out with my husband, who I know loves me in a healthy way. And that's something that these people aren't going to have, and they aren't going to know it, and that's a really sad thing. So even if they have everything else, well, they don't have anything. That's the thing. They don't really have anything. Thanks for listening. Take care. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.